I just talked to this camera for like 20 minutes without hitting the record button. So that's, I guess, how this week is kicking off. Okay, so let me give you the shortened version now because I don't think I want to talk that much twice. So this is another vlog week for me. Whoops, the cat's little foot just knocked the camera off. I'm trying to do one of these vlogs every month, and if you watch my last vlog, you'll know that I'm trying to do something different with my schedule, which is to do all my YouTube videos, like 2 weeks of YouTube videos in 1 week, and then take a week off. So 4-week schedule with 2 YouTube weeks, 1 dedicated writing week, and then 1 week that's a break. So this is my break week, and this is the first time I've tried this, but I'm excited to have a break week, and I'm hoping it energizes me to work later. Although we're not even going to think about work right now. One of the things that I've noticed this year is that I just feel like I don't want to do anything. And that is not common for me. I've pretty much been working very hard, particularly since I was 24, because that was when I dedicated myself to becoming a published writer. I still had like a 30-hour-a-week retail job, and I was treating writing as like a similar-ish job. That was about the time when I stopped taking any time off. I mostly stopped playing video games. My level of reading started to really drop off. And I've never been somebody who takes a lot of like vacations where I go away. So I just kind of stopped relaxing. So part of me is like, well, it's no wonder that you're tired. But it's weird because, you know, I'm like very much a Capricorn, and I really love to work. Supposing that the work is something that I kind of enjoy, which it generally has been. It's really weird for me to just feel this unmotivated for months. Like so many days where I just get up and I just feel like, I don't want to do anything. Even though the work that I'm doing right now is the work that I've been yearning to do my entire life. And you know, maybe that's part of it. I don't know. Like maybe there's a certain level of like intimidation to finally have earned the freedom to do the work I really want to do. Like there might be some fears of failure going on with that. I don't know. But it just might be straight up burnout. I will admit that I've been working too much. I'm not sure it's great for my creativity either. I know in the last couple years, I was in the position where I really just could not take a break. There were too many things going on that had a certain time-sensitive component to them, and I had to do them. That's been true for a lot of my working life, that either a financial pressure, a deadline, or just some other thing out of my control prevented me from taking a break, even if I wanted one. And then when I would get the chance to take a break, I wouldn't take it. So this week, I'm taking a break. My plan is to just chill, watch the Olympics, do some reading. In fact, this is one of the library books I got this week to help motivate me to actually take a week off. Rest, why you get more done when you work less. Because the thing about the work that I'm doing right now is that I really, my heart wants to do this work. It feels like I'm finally doing what I'm meant to do. I'm very excited about it. Like if I won the lottery tomorrow, I would still want to do this work. So it's weird that at the same time, I just have this tiredness, not just physical tiredness. Sometimes some of it I might be able to blame on hormones, but a lot of times it just feels like a mental block. Like I just can't get my thoughts together. Like my brain doesn't want to focus. I just don't want to focus. I just want to like lay around and read. So I've been grappling with that question of like, if you've been working really hard, like how much rest do we really optimally need? Maybe this book will tell me. I don't know. How much rest am I justified in taking? That's kind of the question that I'm asking. Not just for like capitalism, but for my own self, for the work I want to do. How much rest should I take, and when should I say, okay, you need to actually do something, even if it's hard to get started. But this week, I'm not going to think about any of that. I'm just going to chill, and hopefully that will be a big component to it, is just giving myself that time where I'm taking all the pressure off and saying, you know what, if you just want to lay around and do absolutely nothing useful for 7 days, if you just want to stare at people swimming, go right ahead. So let's do some of that. Except first I'm going to clean the kitchen because it's summer and the flies are like going crazy on last night's dishes. So I better clean that up. And I will check in with you guys throughout the week. Good morning. Boy, this lighting in my hair, my morning hairs, is really giving me witch vibes, which I kind of dig actually. Have a little hot chocolate. Okay, it's now Wednesday morning, day 3 of my break week, and I decided that I'm going to start trying to have my morning hot cocoa outside because I think I'm probably getting very vitamin D deficient because it's been such a hot summer and I'm just not going outside at all or taking walks like I should be. And I'm sorry if the sound is bad because the microphones are on the charger. But I do have some work to do today. I have to edit tonight's video, edit the Patreon video, do the budget, pack a couple things for eBay, and Dade has a doctor appointment. But I have to say, it was actually pretty cool this morning, hence me wearing a sweater, and it was really nice to sit out here and just enjoy the green before it gets too hot, so I like this plan. The cats, however, are kind of sad.
This is one of my favorite ones to watch of Frederick. She does that so well. A foot higher than almost anyone else.
Well, I'm reading this book, and so far it is pretty interesting. One of the quotes that I really liked that I saved was, "When we treat workaholics as heroes, we express a belief that labor, rather than contemplation, is the wellspring of great ideas." That really resonated with me because I am definitely guilty of thinking that the more I work, the more, good work I'm accomplishing, when that might not actually be true. Overall, though, today has been absolutely kicking my ass. Mentally, I am just like not with it. I mean, part of it might be because the little tappy girls were battling in the middle of the night, kept me up, so I didn't get a whole lot of sleep, but I took a nap and I still, well, for one thing, I am not a good napper. Sometimes I have to take a nap, but I never come out of it feeling better. It's just like more functional physically, but mentally I always feel like I wasted the day and I feel draggy, like I could just keep sleeping forever. And it's like I just don't want to do anything or really care about anything. And I'm kind of having like various freakouts about how little I'm getting done, even though the point of this week is to rest. But, you still want it to be like good rest. I also am sort of beating myself up because I haven't been like maintaining a presence on like my Discord or posting to Patreon or posting to any of my social media channels. I just feel like I'm being bad at my job. And part of it is that my brain just feels like a bunch of static. Now I know from my entire life that I always have a certain phase like this during PMS, so there's like a real scientific reason for why I might feel this way, but it doesn't make me feel any better about it. After all, part of the problem with those like bad emotional states is that your emotions are going to do what they're going to do, and you can't always just like science your way out of it. I'm going to keep reading my book for a little bit, and we'll probably go out and grab some little takeout or something for dinner because I don't want to cook either. I should probably fix up my hair, which is getting even crazier after I took a nap. So, I don't know. Let's try to pull things together. It's really been such a long time since I've taken like a whole week off. And it's weird because it's very hard to take time off. This is now day 4 of my break, and I find myself in this weird space where I'm either kind of beating myself up for not being like productive enough with my rest, or I'm just like zoning out, but I don't necessarily feel that great about it. Like, I feel like probably I need to exercise more. That might be part of the problem. Like, it's summer, and I know that like you do need to move your body, especially I feel like if you're being kind of like very relaxed otherwise. Like, I feel like when I'm really working my brain hard and I'm writing, I definitely should be exercising, but it does feel like I'm exercising something. So I feel like I kind of have a reason to stay engaged, but it's easy to just like sleep too much if you're not moving. So like this morning I got up and I made sure to like put on some music and just move. But at the same time, even with the air conditioning on, I just got so hot and sweaty, just even doing like very light movements. Summer is just not my season, and I get very like drained very quickly in the heat. So that makes it kind of hard to have a good productive staycation in the summer for me. But other things that I've been thinking about are like all the little things that you need to do when you're self-employed, creative, and just in modern life in general. I don't even think this is purely due to the nature of my job. I think that all of us who are on the internet a fair bit and have a lot of our communications networks, our friends and our jobs on the internet, like it's a really weird way to live. And at this point, if you are like 10 years younger than me, you probably don't even know what it's like to not have the internet. One thing I think about a lot is like all the memes and messages and posts and things about adult women with ADHD. I noticed this some years ago and I identified with a tremendous amount of like the markers. And it explains some things about the way that I've always been. I get super focused on a task if it's something I want to do or I'm really interested in, but if I try to like tidy up my house, I get extremely distracted, and it's usually something like I start reading a magazine that came in the mail, or I start going through stuff, or like I'll think I'm going to clean up this table, but then when I go put away a thing that's on the table and it takes me to another part of the house, and then I'll start cleaning like what's over there, and I'll just like too many steps. I can't seem to stay stuck on like the thing I started out to do. So I definitely identify with a lot of that stuff, but at the same time, I also remember a time before we all had to live on the internet all the time, and I feel like some of this is just that we're not, like our brains are not adapted to this way of life. Because today I'm like midway through, right? I'm midway through the week that I set aside to take off. And the first few days I didn't really worry about, like I kind of mostly stayed off the internet. I kind of just gave myself a break from the whole thing. Today I felt like I should probably check in on some stuff. But it just feels so overwhelming when you've taken a few days off and you kind of still want to rest. And then there's just like so many different places that you have messages and interactions. Like I have, 2 different email accounts, 2 different Facebook accounts. There's Instagram, there's YouTube messages. You've got like your comments and your private messages, and like just trying to sort out in my brain like what to prioritize and where to go and what to take care of. And then like if it's been a little while and like you didn't respond to like a nice message in a week, and then it starts to feel like, oh my gosh, this is a really long time. This person's gonna hate me. So then I avoid the whole thing, which doesn't make it better. Then like you still want to respond to it eventually, but by the time you finally get around to it, it's been like 45 days and you're like, And of course, like it didn't used to be like that. When I was a kid, I might have like a pen pal letter that I was putting off, and occasionally someone would call me on the phone. Usually I was home and would talk to them right then and there. It wasn't very common to have like piles of unfinished doodads, and then when you actually go to the place where the unfinished doodads are, you know that you're going to get sucked into also looking at like the endless feed at Instagram and Facebook and all these other places. So it just feels like it's really hard to truly relax and not feel like there's all these little things pulling at me, clamoring for my attention, and that if I even begin to try to address them, hours will just get sucked away, and it will feel like I won't even really know quite what those hours were for exactly. Like some of it, yes, but a lot of it, not so much. So yeah, if I keep taking time off, it's like I need to actually learn the art of relaxing. And I don't know what it is right now. I haven't figured it out. Roasted vegetables, squash, and pork loin with rosemary. I really know how to make a summer meal, don't I? It's day 5 now of my week of rest, and I feel like I'm finally learning how to rest. I'm getting a rest routine, a vacation routine, if you will. One of the keys definitely seems to be getting in as much exercise as possible, like early in the day, before I eat anything, before I do anything. It seems to really help carry me through, like energy level wise, because it is very hot and humid now. It's like 7 p.m. as I'm filming this, and it's like rainy and sunny at the same time. So the humidity levels are just off the charts. And yeah, I'm not jumping around right now. So I exercised, I made a nice lunch. What's interesting to me is that now on day 5, I'm suddenly starting to have all these ideas for writing. Like next week's actually supposed to be a week where I work on YouTube, and I kind of want to shuffle things around so I can get a writing week in, because I am having like some mental breakthroughs on some projects. It's just like the rest book said, you need to be idle to have ideas. I mean, you know, we all know this theoretically, but seeing how actually doing nothing for 5 days has helped to break up those mental blocks, it really is like, wow, this really is good for me. But I'm still kind of dealing with those questions of like, how do you rest well? Maybe the rest of the rest book will tell me how to rest well. Anyway, so today I did finish, finally. This took me a while, and that's mainly because I have a tendency to read 10 to 12 books at a time. I have like a towering pile next to my bed, but I finally finished Emily Wilde's Map of the Other Lands, which I do feel like I liked the first one better. Something about it was more compelling, and I'm not sure why, but I did like this one too. I really think that Heather Fawcett is a great writer to read if you want to improve your descriptions, because when I read her books, the descriptions are just brilliant. The atmosphere, I really feel like I'm in the places that she's describing, and there's some great turns of phrase. I really appreciate that part, and I think maybe we didn't get as much like interesting development of the relationship between Emily and Wendell. That might be why I was a little less compelled to read on. It might just be like a middle book thing. Still, I liked it. I definitely always recommend this series if you like cozier fantasy that is really well thought out. It's such an interesting take on fairy. So that was some of my afternoon, and you know, I watched some Olympics and did not nap, which I'm glad about because I don't like naps. And yeah, that's kind of how today's going. So I've kind of got 2 more days of staycation left. I decided I was actually going to get something done this morning. I've had these pictures sitting in like a procrastination pile on my floor for a long time. I got these top 2 at my little local thrift store, and I thought they were so cute, and I've been wanting to put them on the wall. I think they're going to look so nice. But yeah, I've just been putting it off because that's what I do. I just put things off forever. So let's hang some pictures. How about it, Betsy? Yeah. I thought I'd use the command strips because we have like extra ones, so why not? Might as well use them up. And also there's a plug right here, and I know that logically this plug is not going to like have a wire that goes into the ceiling for some reason, but I have like this terror of getting electrocuted by a random wire in a wall. One of my many paranoias. So I just thought I'll use these, that'll be safe. And yeah, that's not going that well. Now they're all kind of askew, and it said, as you might have seen, it said to like press them into the wall and then pull them away and let the strip set by itself. But as soon as I pulled it away, the strip came with it. So I'm not doing that. I'm just going to let them sit here and hope that they stay, and they're going to be slightly askew, and that's just my life, is slightly askew. So it's the final day of my rest week, and it's been not the week I expected. I really spent a lot of time contemplating just how to rest, as I've been chronicling throughout this video. I went through like a lot of different waves of like, what do I do with free time? It's not like I haven't had any free time over the last 15 years or so, but it's very rare that I take a whole week off, and when I do, it's usually because it's like Christmas or something where there's like a bit of hubbub going on. So I really spent a lot of time just questioning, what does a week of rest look like? Do I need to do anything with my time? Should I purposefully not do anything with my time? Do I need to be productive in some way? Do I need like a routine? I also found myself just like freaking out about money quite a lot. And I know that's like part of what helps me not worry about money is to just be working, to always have the sense that like I'm doing something, you know, if money is short, then I'm working to fix it. It's weird to be in a position where I'm really not making a lot of money, but I'm just going to take time off knowing that I have savings and I have plans in place and the business is growing. It's a lot easier to trust that sense of like, oh, things are going to be okay when you're just working and working and working. That's probably relatable to a lot of people, but yeah, I worried about money a lot, and I had to kind of talk myself down like, you set aside money this year so that you could do what you wanted to do, and so far it's gone well. There's no reason that I can't take a week off. Logically, I know that, but emotionally, it was hard to really get it in my head. Also this week, my mom is in Maine, and she flew up there to help my aunt who has been battling cancer for a while. But when my mom got there and throughout her trip, it's become clear that we're going to lose my aunt pretty soon. And so I've been going through a lot of emotions with that. My parents both come from like, you know, Catholic families. So I have 3 aunts on my mom's side of the family and 2 aunts and 2 uncles on my dad's side of the family. I mean, as far as blood relations, not including people they married. So I have a lot of aunts and uncles. And so far, everybody's been healthy. My grandparents are still alive on my mom's side. One of my great-grandmothers lived to be like past 100. Generally, my family's been really long-lived, but I worry about health a lot, and I always have since I was like born. I've always had kind of like panic over getting all the things done that I feel like called to do. There's obviously a lot of emotions just about losing an aunt. all the memories of, you know, these wonderful family gatherings and Christmases and hanging out with my cousin at their house. It added to my struggle of like, is it okay to rest? You never know when the end's gonna come. You need to get stuff done. It ended up being a really emotional week, and PMS on top of that, like really bad PMS. Like I've had terrible insomnia. I slept like 5 hours last night and 5 hours the night before, which I was always an absolute champion sleeper until I hit like 40. And then I started getting like this PMS insomnia. Really not cool. I am not a fan of this part of midlife at all. But despite the fact that I'm still not sure that I know how to rest, I am really glad that I took this time off. And I hope that it's something I'm able to keep doing, because now that it's over and I have taken a week off and I've done a lot of reading and just like chilling, decompressing, letting my brain just kind of do nothing. I worked through some of the blocks on projects where I was a little bit stuck, or like I wrote something and I wasn't entirely happy with it. Oops, gotta let a kitty in. Oh. And I have a feeling that a lot of you are going to find this video relatable. I know I'm not the only one who knows that they need rest, and it probably tells your friends to rest more than you actually rest. Because you know that it's a good thing to do, but when it comes to actually doing it, sometimes it's difficult. And I think this is especially true if you work for yourself, you don't make a ton of money, and you set all your own hours, and there's always more to do. There's always more you could do, and there's always people you know who are doing more and are maybe more successful than you, and you feel this sense of like, you got to keep up. Like, the people who are successful are the ones that are hustling the hardest, and if you don't keep up with them, you're going to get lost in the shuffle, you're going to fall behind. It's really easy to panic about this stuff, and I did panic about this stuff this week. But I also realized that I'm not able to just keep hustling endlessly without ever taking a break. And now I'm going to enjoy the last day of my rest week. And let me know if you have any thoughts on how you like to rest. Do you rest? And like, what does rest mean to you? Do you actually just like do nothing, or do you have like a plan? Do you have productive rest time? And as always, you can also find me on my Patreon and my Substack. Links are in the description. And if you enjoyed this video, click the like and subscribe. Thank you for hanging out with me, and I'll see you soon. Bye.